respected teachers and dear students. Myself, Dr. V.K. Sharma, author of various books of health and physical education for New Saraswati House, India Private Limited, New Delhi. I pursued my M. English, MPH and PhD in the field of physical education from Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. I also rendered my services of 36 years in the renowned institution of Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra, that is DAV College, Chika, District Kathal. Along this, in the field of sports achievement, I have been the record holder of shot put of Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra, and also represented Vikram University, Ujjain in All India Inter-University Athletics Championship. Regarding the lab manual of health and physical education for 11th and 12th CBSE, I aver that there are certain salient features in these lab manuals. This is the lab manual for 11th class, as well as this is lab manual of 12th class. In these lab manuals, there are various chapters in various games and sports, and each and every game and sports this have certain basic things, such as the very first one, history of that game. It is also very essential to know about the history of the game, and then neat and clean diagram of the court or playfield, which is also given of each and every game, and then the main tips at a glance, latest general rules of the game, fundamental skills of the game. It is also given in detail, terminology related to the game and sports, and important tournaments and venues of games and sports where they are held, and the sports awards, and in the last portion of each and every chapter, general questions and answers regarding that game. Regarding the lab manuals of health and physical education for 11th and 12th class, I must disclose that there are various games and sports for especially for 11th class and other games for 12th class. For example, what it consists of. For example, it is badminton, and on the very first page, history of the badminton is given. Really, it is very essential because without knowing the history of any game, you can't proceed further. The next one is main points or main tips at a glance. Students may come to know very easily all the dimensions of the game, that is the length, width, etc., and specifications for various sports equipments. And after that, there is a court or playfield that is also essential because one has to mark the ground or playfield. So it is also given in this book. And the next one is about latest general rules of the game, which is given here, because without knowing the proper rules and regulation or general rules, it is impossible to know the actual game. And after that, fundamental skills. Now, which are the main fundamental skills involved in each and every game? It is also mentioned clearly in this lab manual. And after that, terminology. Each and every game has its terminology. Various terms are used in various games and sports. So it is also given very clearly in this lab manual. And then important tournaments and venues. Where are the main venues and what are the various tournaments which are really very famous. And after that, General question answers related to Viva of each and every game are given. So these are the very salient features of each and every game in these lab manuals. Record file for 11th class, that is also essential for each and every student to prepare for the examination purpose, practical examination purpose I mean to say. The very first one is label diagram of 400-meter track and field with detailed computation. Actually, in this 400-meter track, there is some requirement such as length, width of the track and field, and lanes and stagger, etc. It is given in our book in detail that how to lay out a 400-meter track. The second one is calculation of body mass index of family members or neighborhood and graphical representation of the data. This is the second one point which is essential for record file, that how will you calculate the body mass index of an individual or your neighbor or your family members, because nowadays it is really very essential to know about the BMI of an individual, because most of the persons, they are facing the problem of obesity, and these are called really lifestyle diseases. So it is also essential to know about the BMI, how you can calculate the BMI. And the third one is the list of current national sports award, that is the Dronacharya Award, Arjuna Award, Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, and Dhyan Chand Award, etc. These are also given in our lab manual. And the next point is pictorial presentation of asanas for improving concentration. The details of various asanas such as Sukhasanas, Tadasanas, Padmasana and Sasankasana are given in our lab manual in detail. The procedure, benefits and contraindications are given in detail so that the students may be well aware regarding these asanas for having concentration. For 12th class lab manual, some record file is essential to be prepared by each and every student. The first one, which is essential for record file, is administration of all fitness tests for all the items. It means here that all the items, I mean to say that various tests such as 400-meter run or walk, sit and reach test, push-ups for girls and boys, etc. These things are essential for fitness purpose. These are the fitness tests which are prescribed for 12th class. Here, in this test, various purpose of the test. Each and every test has its own purpose, that for what purpose it has been introduced, and equipments required, what are the various equipments which are required in conducting this test, and then procedure, how to proceed for this test, and then scoring and advantages of this test. The next chapter in record file is asanas for lifestyle diseases. This chapter is really very important from the point of view of various lifestyle diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, back pain, obesity, and asthma, etc. These lifestyle diseases are spreading like anything, not only in India but throughout the world. So yoga can be very helpful in this aspect in treating or curing these diseases such as hypertension. Various asanas are recommended for controlling these diseases. Next topic under a record file for 12th class is administration of senior citizen fitness test. Actually, this is Ridley and Jones physical fitness test. In this test, various sub-items of this test are included, such as chair and stand test, arm curl test, and sit and reach test, 6-minute walk test, etc. These are explained in our book in detail. I mean to say that the purpose of the test and equipments required, administration, how do you administer these tests, and what is the scoring of these tests. Regarding the usefulness of these lab manuals of 11th and 12th, I want to add that the language of these lab manuals is really very clear, and the concept may be understood very easily by the students as well as the teachers. This really enhances the importance of these lab manuals, because the concept should be clear to each and everyone. So whenever the students go through the syllabus, go through this book, then they understand each and every aspect of rules and regulation, history, and the ground or playfield rules and regulation, and the terminology, and lastly, which is really very important, that a lot of question and answer are given in this book, which are really very helpful for the students, those who appear in Viva. It is a matter of glee for all of us to know that Government of India has introduced physical education from the very beginning, that is from primary standard. And in this perspective, I want to say you that really physical education is very significant. It was not only significant in the past, but especially nowadays or in coming future, it is really very important. So that's why the government has introduced it from the very beginning. Without proper health, without fitness, it is really very difficult to go ahead in today's society, in today's world. It is essential for us to be physically fit, and through games and sports and through physical education, various programs of physical education, we can be sound, we can be fit, we can be healthy. That is the requirement of the day, and a time, especially it will come after some time, that every citizen of India will come to know about the utility of this profession, and they will come under the shadow of physical education.